Hello. Work day number 2 of the week. I did get good enough sleep this time, so that is really great. Feeling pretty good. Should be a good day. No naps, just pure output, so to speak. But really, the thing on top of my mind is the book club tomorrow. So I am going to definitely do a rehearsal tonight about the book club. Well, the meeting's only an hour, so I can't imagine that'll be too big of a deal. But Influencer is pretty much a book that talks about how leaders can influence changes in behavior over like a large group. So maybe I'll go through them one by one. This one, find vital behaviors. Pretty much the idea is that you only need a couple of behaviors to actually change how people act for a most. 3 keys to influence. Pretty much the only reason that the sources of influences work is through focus and measure and finding vital behaviors, which I mentioned before. Focus and measure is pretty much having good metrics to look at what is happening, because that's the only way you can identify progress, right? And that's pretty key. Here's leadership is influence. That's just the idea that leaders are influencers, right? The qualification of a leader is just the people who can actually change behavior of the group of people that are leading. The graph pretty much goes by 3 sources. You go from personal, social, structural change actually. And then there's 2 for each one. So there's motivational and abilities. So with personal, you're going to have to give yourself the ability to do these things, and you have to give yourself the motivation to do the things that you want to do to change. Number 2 is social. You want the people around you to give you the ability to do what you need to do, and you want them to give you the motivation that you need to do. And number 3 is structural, is that you want the structure around you to do what you need to do, and it gives you the motivation to do what you need to do. It's so fascinating actually thinking about all these things, because really a lot of people like to hone in on one particular aspect, but actually it's all 6 of these that come together to actually influence your behavior to go in the right direction. So I guess I'm going to talk about this for the next few times, but wow, I'm actually pretty excited about the book club, because looking at the coronavirus pandemic, is that this is actually a really important topic that you can actually do to kind of get people to stay at home, just those 6 ways. So obviously something like the current stimulus bill is some way that we have structural ability to allow people to stay at home instead of going to work with that extra cash. And there's all sorts of things. So it's really cool, but otherwise today is just going to be work day, so I'll check you out a little bit later. I don't know if there's anything special for dinner. It'll probably be pretty similar to yesterday's dinner, because I just have leftovers, so maybe I'll record something about exercise. We'll see. Bye-bye. Oh my. I started eating first, so I had to arrange it so it looks like, oh, untouched. Looks like a lot of noodles here actually, but pretty much I've got my leftover cabbage, carrot, my nice soy sauce vinegar salmon, and some noodles and soy sauce. Pretty much the same thing as last time. Could use more vegetables. Nom nom nom. Well. Today I finished the work day already. Ended that with a little bit of a rehearsal for the book club, which is, actually a little bit more complicated than I expected. But I think the main topic during the book club is actually pretty interesting, because really looking at the coronavirus kind of makes this particular book actually a very topical discussion, because you kind of want to talk about how the government wants to influence the population to actually change their behaviors so everyone can actually stay at home. And it seems like it's not working out too well, because a lot of people are just going out. So I think it'll be an interesting discussion to see what other people think about how you can apply these actual influences to a social pandemic, where you kind of have to have everyone do a certain action to actually mitigate the results. Other than that, I don't know, I just talk about that. I'd probably want to speak as little as possible during the discussion, because I don't really want to share my own thoughts. I'm really here to kind of moderate and hear the thoughts of others, which is totally fine. I think this is kind of my first time doing something similar to this. I guess I can think of it kind of like a group project. But I mean, usually our projects are usually like 2 or 3 or 4 people, so kind of going into a group of, I would expect around 8, it may not be as easy, and it's definitely a challenge of doing these things online, which can be maybe tougher than usual. Definitely one of the social experiences that I can have and meet new people as of late, since you really don't have the opportunity to meet new people, so you gotta take every approach I can get. I do think it's interesting that in book clubs it seems to have more senior members. So I don't know what's the correlation between there, but I just think it's kind of interesting to note that people of higher level are interested in reading books. Of course, I think I'm a pretty big fan of reading books. It's my favorite way to transfer knowledge into my own brain. Of course, I'm not really much of a book writer. I've read that people who are more successful than you typically read more than you, so I do try to read more. Tomorrow, I guess I'll just have my book club and another work day. So easy peasy. See ya, Leezy.